Hey look, I found this book called Kinky Japanese. I guess this is all hentai stuff or something. Hey guys, tonight I'm going to answer a question that I once asked and that a lot of people who are beginners at Japanese often ask, and it's, should I learn a Japanese dialect from the beginning or should I just focus on the standard language? And my answer to that is basically you should focus on the standard language. Before I came to Japan, I was planning to come to the Kinki region, or the Kansai region as it's also known. That's the area around Osaka and Kyoto and Kobe. I was planning to come to this region already, so I knew that I would be encountering the local dialect. So I bought this book because I wanted to know some of the dialect beforehand. And then I got here, and I'll tell you my experience and what happened once I got here. Basically, I think you should focus on the standard language because the dialects are just not really a big deal in Japan anymore with the Japanese language. They were like 100 years ago. You know, the dialects were quite different and people would have to try really hard to communicate with speakers from other dialects. But now, basically everyone speaks standard Japanese with some components of the dialect. But they've become much more standard in recent generations, you know, through education and through the media, the national media that's based in Tokyo. People are just learning the standard language, and that's becoming the model that they copy. So the exceptions are when you meet elderly people. They'll often speak like a heavier dialect, and they might say a lot of dialect words when a younger person would use the standard words. It's also true sometimes in like working class neighborhoods or with less educated people, and also deeper in the countryside you'll hear more of the dialect as well. But basically with the younger generations and mainstream Japanese people, they speak, you know, mostly the standard language with some bits of the dialect mixed in. So it's not really essential that you learn those bits. It's more essential that you learn the foundation of Japanese, of standard Japanese, and then once you're here, you'll pick up some of the elements of the dialect from your environment and through your casual interactions. So it's not really critical that you study it. You don't have to avoid the dialect, like I bought this book, but I use this just basically just as a supplement, just for fun, just to get familiar with a bit of the dialect before I came here. And it was good. It was a good idea because once I got here, I understood those dialect elements when I heard them. But that's just as an extra supplement for fun and for familiarization. I would focus on the standard language. So the dialects are not a big deal. That's one thing. A second reason is that people will just tend to speak to you in standard Japanese anyway because you're a foreigner learning Japanese. So they will simplify and standardize their language to try to help you. So you won't hear the dialect being spoken to you directly all that often unless it's like an elderly person or maybe someone in the countryside or whatever. But most people will speak to you in standard language. And wherever you go, if you speak the standard language, they'll be able to speak it back to you, unless it's one of those types of people I mentioned. They might not be able to. With that said, it's a good idea to learn some of the dialect before you come here and to familiarize yourself with it, just passively. Like, you don't have to practice producing the dialect or getting fluent in using the dialect. You don't have to do that. You just a book like this, which just basically introduces some of the words and shows them in context, is good just for passive learning, so you'll know it when you hear it, and then over time as you live in that location, you will incorporate some of those elements of the dialect into your natural speech in the right situations, right? So just do that. Focus on the standard language and have some fun learning a bit of the dialect, and over time it will become part of your Japanese. So that's my advice. I hope that's helpful. All right, talk to you later. Bye.